Hey everyone, Jacob Wuwert from the National Sports Media Association. I am here today with Missouri 2022 Sportscaster of the Year, Dan McLaughlin. Congratulations on the award and thank you for being here today.
Jacob, thanks. It's quite an honor and great to visit with you.
Awesome. How did you get started?
I got started, well, it was an interesting way to go about it. My background is in radio, and I worked a long time at KMOX radio, off and on for many, many years. I worked in my college campus, radio station. I was the sports director there. I did news, I did weather, I was a DJ. One thing led to another to be able to do St. Louis Blues hockey, and I did the intermissions. And the guy that was running the television station at that time that was carrying the Blues heard me on the intermissions and got me a job doing television intermissions, which then led to doing baseball. And I did pre-games for both and intermissions for the Blues. And then that eventually led to doing play-by-play for the Cardinals for 25 years, which was a lot of fun.
Awesome, I bet it is. What is something unique that you do within the field?
Well, I try to study as much as I can outside of when I was doing the games. I had a chance to learn more about society and reading, and that helped me during the games to be up to date on what's happening, not just on a baseball field or the ice on hockey or basketball in college. It was about learning as much as I could about other things in life that had nothing to do with sports. And so by being able to be well versed in that regard, I always felt like I could transition when things got awry in a game. And, sometimes the plexiglass would explode. Sometimes a guy would dunk a basketball, and all of a sudden you got 25 minutes to fill. And so you just talk about different things that you would hope that interest the viewing or listening audience. And by trying to be as well versed as I can, that's something that I always did.
Awesome. How did you get to where you are right now? I know you touched a little bit about that, but go further in
Well,
depth with that.
yeah, I mean, I had a guy that took a chance on me. I was 23 when I did my first major league game, and when I walked into his office, he couldn't believe who I was. He had only heard me on radio and had heard my voice and never saw me. And he said, "You got to be bleeping kidding me that you're Dan McLaughlin." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "You got 5 features to show me what you can do." And he threw a card at me that had an editor's number on it and a cameraman that I worked with a long time. And basically, I was the producer and got all the interviews and voiceover and started putting together features. And that's how it all started on the television side. And the first one I did was on the late great Jack Buck, and in doing that, got nominated for an Emmy, and everything kind of fell into place after that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Inspired you to go down this path.
What inspired me was I love sports. My brother says that I was calling games in the backyard when I was 3 years old. I went to college on a baseball scholarship. I just love sports. And so I was always calling the games if we were playing video games or if we were doing things like playing wiffle ball in the backyard or whatever. A game was on TV. I would just start calling it. And that's one of the things that I loved. I loved doing the play by play. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Who would you say you look up to in the industry?
Well, in the industry, there's a lot of guys that were mentors to me. Mike Kelly, who is the voice of the Missouri Tigers, certainly one of them. Randy Carricker is a longtime radio host here in town. Jack Buck, when he was with us, God rest his soul, was very good to me. So those are just some of the influences, but the number one influence is my mom, and she has nothing to do with the business. But she was a great person, is a great person, and I tried to emulate what she was like for me.
Awesome. Last question. What advice do you have for students or young people like me who want to go into this industry?
I would say get involved. I mean, get involved in anything you can and don't wait. And I mean anything. If that means going to grab your local guy that's doing radio and he's a star, go get him his coffee. I would write informational letters. Old handwritten letters are something that most people don't do anymore. I'd write a letter describing who I am and that I'm interested in the business, and is there something I can do for you? I would read. I read a lot of newspapers in the morning, not just my local paper, but just reading anything I can get my hands on, read books. Like I said before, if they ask you to do weather and you want to do sports, go do the weather. If you want to be a weatherman and they say you need to do some sports, go do that. Do the news, do whatever you can to get on the air or behind the scenes that involves this industry, and be open-minded to it. Now, because of phones, everybody is a reporter. So anybody can report on anything. Learn technology, learn how to edit in television. And there's various ways to do it. And I think that the young broadcasters or young people that are coming up now know how to edit because of social media, but find out how to do it, find various ways to do it. But number one is get as involved as you can with what you do. And if you can do that, then you have a chance to make it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, and I hope to see you in person at the awards this weekend.
Hey, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.